Join us as we cruise on the Norwegian Escape and we give you a tour of all of its public areas. We're going on the Escape!
Yeah.
We actually went on the Norwegian Escape in 2018. It was Roseanne's first cruise and she was about 10 months old. At that time, the Escape was doing itineraries from New York City to Bermuda, and we had a great time on board. We decided to try it again this summer because it fit into our tight schedule of vacation, and we couldn't wait to show the kids, including Roseanne because she couldn't remember it, how awesome the Escape was. We're starting the tour a little bit unconventionally in two areas that are really only accessible to the public on embarkation day, the spa and the kids club. The workout facility has techno gym equipment. There are a variety of group fitness classes such as Pilates, yoga, Zumba, etc. And you could come here during the opening hours of the day. There's some strength equipment there as well. As far as the size of the fitness center for the ship, it's a little bit small, and on the first sea day on most cruises, you would find the gym to be full. But as the cruise goes on, the gym tends to be much more spacious because less people are working out. The spa area has the standard salon area, nails area, and pedicure, and Roseanne and I tried this out on our cruise, and we had a great time here. You can buy a pass to visit the spa throughout the cruise, or if you want to book an amenity at the spa, you can visit it then. You can visit for free on embarkation day, and it's not necessarily totally free because you do usually have to listen to a couple of spiels about becoming younger, looking younger, or some other sort of thing they're trying to sell you, but it's not all bad, and you get to see what the spa looks like. The thermal area on this ship has tons of windows and it overlooks the sea, and it would be a very relaxing place to go if you were a spa user. The thermal suite has heated loungers, a steam room, a dry sauna, a salt room, and a snow room. Next, we headed to the other area on the ship that's not open to the public except on embarkation day, and that's Splash Academy. That's the kids club program on Norwegian Escape, and it's designed for kids ages 3 to 12. They have the groups divided into age-appropriate activities with turtles being 3 to 5, seals age 6 to 9, and dolphins age 10 to 12. They engage in play, arts and crafts, and interactive games. They also have drop-off childcare in the evening that you pay for, so if the parents want to have a timeout, you can do that. We haven't ever personally used the kids club on Norwegian, but we do like to check it out on the first day just to see what it's all about. Norwegian Escape also has a teen lounge they call Entourage. They have their own space there, and it's a dedicated lounge full of social and casual activity options. They have video games, movies, music, and more. If you want to use Splash Academy or Entourage, you're going to want to register your kids as soon as they board, as they say the space could fill up quickly. But again, we're not sure because we haven't quite done it. The programs are supervised by trained youth staff, and they do have a late night area for babysitting, as we mentioned. For the rest of our tour, we're going to start at the bottom and work our way up, because why not get in a little cardio while we're making our video? The beginning will be here on deck 6. One of our favorite areas on every ship is the kind of dorky area where they have all their plaques that they get every time they visit a port for the first time. We love checking all this out. Don't ask me why, but it's kind of like a little museum to the ship's adventures. As you head out of this area, you pass through the elevators and you head into where Taste and Savor are. Those are two of the main dining rooms on Norwegian Escape. They're included in your experience, and nobody has an assigned dining time because everyone dines at their own leisure. There's a bar in between Taste and Savor where you could hang out while you wait, because as a normal restaurant, you would show up and meet the host and tell them how many in your party, and they would let you know whether you could be seated right away or you would need to wait. You can make reservations at some of the main dining rooms. That includes the Manhattan room, which is in a separate area of the ship. These venues all have the same menu every night as each other, so it doesn't really matter which one you are seated in unless you run into a waiter or server who you particularly like. After you exit out of Taste and Savor, you run into an area that is on every cruise ship that we're not exactly sure what it's there, but there must be people who are buying art because it's the art gallery. So you walk through this area and then you come upon one of our other favorite restaurants on Norwegian Cruise Line, Teppanyaki. Teppanyaki is a hibachi style restaurant that's pretty standard across the board. Lots of cruise ships have these style of restaurants, and of course there are tons of them everywhere on land. It's essentially an amazing experience. All the chefs are great showmen, and we have a fantastic time with our kids. It's loud in there, so if you're traveling with a family, it's nice to know that your kids won't be the loudest ones. Next, you come out into the middle of 678 Ocean Place on the 6th floor where Le Bistro is. They have quote-unquote outdoor seating right there in the atrium, and it's so cute. Looking up from Le Bistro, you find the chandelier in the middle of 678 Ocean Place. It's a little bit different on each of the Breakaway and Breakaway Plus class ships, but this chandelier is pretty cool and it changes colors. Also on the 6th floor here is the Headliners Comedy Club. This venue can get kind of crowded, so you're going to want to get there early to get your seats. As you keep heading forward, you end up by the staircase, of course, past the elevators, and then the Supper Club. The Supper Club is a place where they have a meal and show included together, and you have to sign up for that and make reservations separately. If you walk through this area, you end up at the library, which is a little place that you could quietly read books or play games. The theater is also forward on multiple floors. Let's head on up to 7 and see what we can find there. The first thing we're going to encounter is my favorite thing on Norwegian Cruise Line. On some ships it's called the Local, but originally it was called O'Sheehan's. It is a dining and bar venue that's open 24 hours a day. You can come in anytime and eat wings or some other food. They also serve a breakfast menu during breakfast time, but they don't close to turn that over. They have their wings and their spinach artichoke dip and their fish and chips and all kinds of other great food at all hours of the day and night. This is one of the only venues on a cruise that I've seen that's truly open 24/7. Of course, they also have arcade type stuff here, and randomly they have a little mini bowling alley. We've never tried the mini bowling alley, but I'm sure it's great. After you pass O'Sheehan's, you head into the casino area. So kids can walk through here, but of course they can't gamble. Lame. But so you head through and you end up in 678 Ocean Place where the chandelier is again, and the casino kind of surrounds this area on the 7th floor. On some ships, there's a lot of smoke smell. On this ship, there is some smoke smell, so I would never tell you there's none, but it's not terrible, so it's not going to ruin your time if you're a non-smoker. Oh, let's do a double take. Here's one of our favorite games, the quarter drop. We used to play this game pre-kids all the time, like every time we were walking through the casino. One time we won a dice and we took it to the cashier and said, "Ooh, what do we get for this?" And they said, "You get that dice." So be careful on the quarter drop game. You might not actually get anything cool. Heading further on this deck, you end up in the Skyline bar. And then as you continue to head forward, you end up at the elevators and the stairs again. Here we come to the aft dining room called the Manhattan Room. It's an included dining room that has cool views of the aft of the ship when it's daylight, and then they also often have performances in here. Although we didn't attend any on this cruise, we've been to the Manhattan Room on the Epic and on a previous cruise on the Escape, and there were dancing shows and all kinds of cool things that made this a very fun experience. Let's head up to the 8th floor and see what's up there. Oh, it's the best thing about the Breakaway and the Breakaway Plus class ships, the waterfront. If you've been on a lot of modern cruise ships, you might think that cruise ships are all about what's inside of them. But some of the ships in the Breakaway and the Breakaway Plus class are really focused externally on the sea. The waterfront does just that. It's an area that goes outside of the ship, looking at the sea with places to sit, places to enjoy the weather, places to look at the views, whether it's just a casual place like you see here, or it's an outdoor seating part of a restaurant. The waterfront was revolutionary in these ships. We just love it. Heading back inside on the 8th floor, you'll find some of the best restaurants on Norwegian Cruise Line. One of those is Cagney's. It's their signature steakhouse, and we never miss a meal at Cagney's on a cruise. Their steaks are great, they're very consistent, and the service is wonderful. On this ship, Cagney's has both indoor and outdoor seating, and there's a bar here in the middle between Cagney's and then another restaurant called Moderno, which is a Brazilian steakhouse. Past Cagney's, you head into the shopping area on the 8th floor. Of course, during the filming of this, it was not open because it was about 5 in the morning, but there's stores that have watches, jewelry, the typical cruise stuff, some cruise branded gear, some duty-free alcohol, cigarettes, all the usual. If you've been on a cruise, you've been in these stores, you know how it goes, but they're still fun to look at when you're out at sea and they're open. Then you head into the photo area. I love how this has changed over time in the last several years, that the photos have gone from just being in these binders to being on these screens. You can pull out the binder here or pretend to, but it doesn't work. If you look at the screen, then that's how you look at all your photos. You can scan your card, pull up your pictures, and order a package. To be fair, every time we've tried to order a package on the TV, it ends up being outrageously expensive. But if we go and we talk to a worker, we're ending up able to get all of our photos for a very reasonable price. It's super fun, even if you don't buy them, to go look at them. When you walk past here, there's some hallway shopping, which seems like it might not be that big of a deal, but it has one of the new things that I really like that I've seen on a lot of cruises, and that is kind of like a rebag section. And they have luxury bags that are pre-loved that you could purchase here. I don't think that a cruise ship is probably your best bet for buying a bag, but if you're on a cruise and you get the itch to buy something, buying a used or pre-loved luxury bag might be a better deal than buying one at a store. After you head out of the shopping area, you hit one of Norwegian's standard bars, the Sugar Cane Mojito Bar. We have one mojito lover in our group, and he swears by them. The bar is cute. It's got little green lights on it. What a fun place to pull up. There's another restaurant here called Bayamo. We have not ever tried this, but it's like a seafood type restaurant, and people who go there say they really like it. As you continue around the 8th floor, you see more stores and more bar areas. Also on this floor is the cigar lounge. It's one of the few places besides the casino that you can smoke indoors, but you can only smoke cigars in there. Also on the 8th floor is another popular Norwegian venue, Sid Norman's Poorhouse. We haven't experienced a lot of shows in here because our kids are young, but it is a place or a venue where the performers are also the servers, and it seems like it's a lot of fun on a lot of the videos we've seen.
My favorite food is a hot dog. They have the best kids menu ever.
In between the 8th floor and the higher floors are a bunch of floors that just have rooms, so we're not going to check those out. But then we're going to head up to the pool deck. As you can see, clearly they just cleaned it up here, and if you spend a lot of time on any cruise ships, you might know this is very slippery when it looks like this, so be careful. But this is the main pool area, and they clean it every night, pick up all the chairs, and then put all the chairs back out. There are places for people to perform. There's like a little stage there. There's hot tubs. There's a pool. It's a pretty fun place to be. It can be very crowded, so you'll need to be careful when you're looking for a place to go or a time to go out there. You might have to wander around for a few minutes to find a chair, but they do a decent job of cleaning up people's items when people are just holding a chair. The Waves pool bar is out here, and even though it seems very crowded, we didn't have any trouble getting service the few times we went to Waves. Here we are headed into a cruise ship classic, the buffet. It's called the Garden Cafe here, and as you can see, when you enter, there are plenty of places to actually wash your hands. They always try to get you with the washy-washy and use hand sanitizer, but you are welcome to use soap and water, which is the best way to prevent illness. The buffet is set up pretty standard. Here they were getting ready for breakfast because it was early in the morning. They have standard setup, lots of space, and lots of repeating stations, so you don't have to all crowd around one station. There's a limited number of bars in here in order to get drinks and soda and things like that, but there are plenty of stations where you can get juice and water and all that kind of thing. Heading into the aft of the ship is the favorite place of a lot of adults on Norwegian Cruise Line, Spice H2O. If you spend much time on online venues, there's a lot of confusion between the difference between Spice H2O and Vibe Beach Club. Spice H2O and Vibe are both adults only areas, but Vibe costs extra money. This area and the aft of the ship on the Breakaway and Breakaway Plus class ships is included. So you can come here to Spice H2O if you're 18 and older and hang out. This ship has a grotto area with like a couple inch deep pool that you could cool off your feet. It has a little dripping water area, but not a full pool, but it's still a nice area to go for adults only, and it is included. Past that is a video arcade area. It's near the Entourage Teens area. As every video arcade, it is of course not included. They do have an arcade package where you can like prepay for quote-unquote unlimited gaming, but there are some games that aren't included. If you're like our kids, the only game you want to play is the one with the claw where you're trying to win a stuffed animal, and we tell our kids it's like the kids casino. We're putting in a lot of money and not getting much out. On the upper decks of the ship are where the slides are. There's quite an extensive water park and a ropes course. The ropes course Roseanne and I tried, it was terrifying, but seems to be what they're going for, I guess. And then there's a ton of slides ranging from pretty easy, like this yellow slide that you see, to some kind of scary. The blue and green slides there that you see are kind of drop slides where you stand on a platform and it drops out from under you. That's really not my jam, but lots of people love it. So there's lots of options as far as slides go on this ship.
Was the ropes course a thumbs up or a thumbs down? 1, 2, 3.
Next, we're checking out our favorite part of any Norwegian ship, and the reason we've been fairly loyal to Norwegian Cruise Line, and that is the Haven. It's the ship within a ship concept. I know you hear that if you hear about cruise lines. They all kind of have a ship within the ship concept, but we love Norwegian's product, the Haven. It's a great suite concept. It has lots of privacy. It has lots of exclusivity, and the service is amazing. Here's the concierge desk on the Escape, and you could come here to get literally any problem solved, essentially. The Haven also has its own bar. This is fantastic because you get to know the bartenders, whether you're just getting Diet Cokes or you're getting expensive drinks. They get to know you, they get to know your family, and the Haven bar is right by the Haven courtyard. The courtyard on this ship has a retractable roof. I think on this cruise it was covered the whole time, but it is nice to have an area that has sunlight, but that it's also still warm even if you were in a cool weather area. This pool is not humongous. It has a very shallow pool area there where you could sit inside, and then there's kind of like a plunge type pool after that where you could get in. There are children in the Haven. It is not an adults only experience. There's a lot of controversy about that online, but I do find that most children we encounter are pretty good. And if you happen to see us there and you see our children behaving poorly, please let me know. I will take care of it. Inside the Escape Haven, there's a private elevator. Now this one isn't like the Viva and the Prima and the Luna and the Aqua, whatever other Prima class ships are gonna be. This elevator only stays in the Haven, so it can help you go from the floor where the bar is to the upstairs sundeck in the Haven sundeck area. This area kind of surrounds the pool. There's no direct access down to the pool. You have to either go inside there or there's a stairway back in the back, but it has a nice view overlooking, and kids are allowed in this area. Once you go outside all the way forward, that is an adults only sundeck. So sure, there are areas in the Haven where there are no children. Coming in from the sundeck, this is the stairwell down the back where you go back down to the pool area. Or I guess technically it's the front because that is the front of the ship. But to me it looked like the back of the Haven because when you come into the Haven pool that looks like it's the back, but it is the front. Some rooms are housed within the Haven complex, meaning that they are in the courtyard area behind these locked doors. On the Escape, that is all forward rooms. There are also some rooms in the aft of the ship, and we stayed in one of those this time. This is our first Haven trip that was not enclosed inside the Haven, so we're going to show you how you get from the Haven down to where our room was. The Haven's up on 17. We took the elevator down to 10 for expedience sake, and it's early in the morning, so there's no line. And then you come over to the side here and you race all the way to the back. One good thing about this is that you definitely get your steps in. So we did not miss out on extra walking on our cruise, even though we were indulging in food and beverage and having a great time. We got to take lots of extra steps to the back of the ship to our room. So that is one small negative. I felt like another negative was that we did not get to be as close to the concierge, and we felt like our butler might have had too many suites. Now this could have been butler dependent, meaning maybe just this butler had a hard time servicing the aft rooms, or maybe it's a problem with every time that the rooms are far away from the Haven. We don't know the answer to that. We'll get back to you another time if we ever stay outside of the Haven again. Here we are still walking. Still going. And we have finally arrived. The best two things about this room and the reason we chose it are, one, the balcony is amazing, and two, even though it's not a 2-bedroom room, it does have 2 bathrooms. Here we are in the Haven restaurant in the outdoor part. This is one of our favorite experiences in the Haven. We love alfresco dining around our home, at restaurants where we live, but we especially love it on cruises. Heading inside to the Haven restaurant, we'll show you the area where there's a little bit of a buffet for the morning for the continental part of the breakfast, and just a little preview of the indoor part of the restaurant. If you have any interest in cruising in the Haven or any cruise, reach out to us. We're travel agents who never charge a fee, and we work as part of a Forbes rated host agency. So we have access to the best rates, benefits rates, and we can help you book your luxury trip anytime. Who doesn't want to wake up to views like this and enjoy the vacation of a lifetime from an amazing balcony with butler service, a concierge, a private restaurant, and everything you could ask for? Contact us for your travel needs, and don't forget to like and subscribe.